What's going on, guys? It's your boy Adoptionism here, and like you guys can see, I got the new mic here and it's fucking epic. I gotta give it to my girlfriend for setting this up for me. Also, you guys can kind of see in the camera it's a different setup from how it's been lately or whatever, and that's because I rearranged my setup here. Also, some of you may not know that I am now in a townhouse or whatever, so it's a lot different. But anyway, that's gonna be for another video. What I want to talk about right now is my favorite deck build that I've dealt with so far in Gwent. I know a lot of you guys may or may not know Gwent too well, but it's the card game that it was like a little what is it called, like a sub game or whatever, or a mini game. There it is, a mini game inside of The Witcher, and I personally thought it was really fun. It's really addicting. I had a lot of kegs. I think I technically own just about every card now. I'm not counting premium cards, but yeah, you know. So anyway, when this game first came out, I was just maining the shit out of what was it, Queensguard? Queensguard was stupid fun, but you guys know that we have a new patch now, and Queensguard isn't as good as it used to be. But there's another deck here for Scalig. I don't know. I can never fucking pronounce it right. Anyway, yeah, you guys can see I have a lot of decks. It's ridiculous. I love messing with these. But I absolutely love the purple faction. It's one of my favorites. That's the one that I started off with when I first opened up this game. But AXEMEN. AXEMEN are ridiculous right now. I don't know if they were as good before. I didn't really use them too much because, like I said, I was doing a lot of Queensguard stuff. But let me show you guys this deck recipe, and I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section and everything, exactly if you like it or not. So let's jump into it. So, you guys can see here. So bronze cards. We got 3 AXEMEN. Now, he is literally the bread and butter of this whole deck. Whenever an enemy is damaged, boosts self by 1, and he gains 2 armor. So the armor kind of helps keep him alive when you first pull him out before he actually starts powering up. Like, he goes like Super Saiyan. He gets insane. And you guys can see down here why. Now, some of you may be asking why Frost. Well, Frost is one of the only... it is the only weather that actually damages all enemies. Like, you got this one right here. You got Fog, which just damages the high units. So if they have like 10, 9, 13 or whatever, instead of you getting like a tick on a total of 3 damage or whatever, which would in turn give you 3 up on AXEMEN, you would only get 2. So that's why just Biting Frost is too legit. And then of course we have White Frost, which gives you 2 Biting Frost rows. So in turn we technically have 5 Biting Frosts, and that's huge, because technically you're only limited up to 3 Clear Skies. 9 times out of 10 people normally run 1, maybe 2 Clear Skies, and then depending on the build, obviously everybody has the type of bronze unit that can do Clear Skies or whatever. Like, I mean, we have Silver for Gremist, who he could do Clear Skies, and that's a good way to kind of clear it up. But honestly, this deck works so well that even if somebody pulls like Ragnarok on you or Drought or anything like that, the AXEMEN, as long as you got weather on their side of the board, the AXEMEN's not gonna die. Like, he just every single time. So, oops, that would have been good. So we have 2 clan on-crate raiders, and the reason why we have 2 is because we use it in conjunction with Morkvarg, because we're running King Bran. It's literally just to thin out the deck, just so that way whenever you draw next or whatever, that you have a higher chance of getting your own thing, obviously. And that's literally it. Like, what I typically do on round 1, whether they go first or I go first, I typically start off leader card instantly, King Bran. Then I put to avoid. Well, I mean, if they use Igni on first turn, then that's kind of their dumbass fault. But most of the time, I put King Bran in mid row, and then I do the on-crate raider and Morkvarg. And obviously, you know, all 3 of them. Sorry, tickles. All 3 of them will go on the first row, and it gives you on turn 1 or round 1, it gives you a total of 20. So 20 it's a decent first play. For technically using one card, 20 is a pretty big play. And depending on what their answer is to that, they'll either have to use 1, maybe 2 cards, or sometimes like earlier I was like giving it a shot, and people were having to use like, I don't know, I think I had somebody use like 3 cards on me, and then I just played like 1 more card from my hand, and then they're like, oh shit, and they started playing like, I actually had a guy pop Igni on me round 1. Not kidding you. Dude pop Igni round 1. Dude, no, just don't do that. Sorry if I say a lot. My mouth is really dry, and I'm also trying to think it's fucking retarded. Anyway, so we have 2 Savage Bears. You can run 3, but he can make it a little oversaturated because we're trying to keep it down to the 25 card limit. And, I mean, again, it damage each enemy that appears by 1. So you have that helping you boost Axemen. You have your Biting Frost helping you boost Axemen. And personally, I really like Blue Boy Lugos because, I mean, the Spectral Whale, you know, hops from, you know, here we go. Every turn at the start of your turn, move this unit to a random row on its side and damage all other units on the row by 1. Now, this card can kind of bite you in the ass because the Spectral Whale only has 3. So if you have a Frost out, then putting a Blue Whale out, actually, you know what? Hang on. You know, hold up. Somebody told me that I should try to put some draw power in here. No. No. Ooh, okay. Draw a top card from your deck, then discard a card from your hand. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, you know what? We're going to put him in there. This is a draw 2. And the good part about this draw 2 is that, I mean, obviously, like earlier, I actually ended up getting 2 golds. I ended up getting Madman Lugos and my Regis, or Regis, whatever. What time is it? Holy shit. I'm all over the place right now. So the cool part about that is that typically, like I said, with round 1, you start off with leader card. You get your Raiders, you get your Werewolf, and then maybe like 1 or 2 cards just to get them to like start throwing shit at you so they don't lose round 1. I'm not afraid to lose round 1. I just like making them mill the shit out of their stuff. So what's really fun is that round 2, like if you won round 1 and you have this guy, use him round 2 so that way you know you get your extra card, and then give it to him. Give him round 2, it don't matter. Then you move on to round 3. Now, the best play that I had earlier, I wish I had a clip for you guys. I had 2 of my Axemen, and I had Yalmar, or Yalmar, fuck, Jalmar? I don't know. I'm American. I'm retarded. I mean, I had him, and I think I had 2 bears out. I don't know. It was ridiculous. And on round 3, I think the dude actually, like, surrendered. Like, he still had, like, 3 or 4 cards left. And the dude surrendered because he was up by like 20, but because of my Frosts and my Axemen, and he had like, I know it was Nilfgaard, so I mean he had all 3 rows stacked, and I just sat there and just weather, and I think both of my Axemen were up to, one of them got up to 32, I think, and the other one got up to like 20 something. Anyway, so this setup, it's really nice. It's really consistent. Personally, I think you guys should give it a shot, but I know I probably haven't even talked about all the cards. But anyway, Madman Lugos, okay, you discard a bronze unit from your deck, and you damage a unit by the discarded unit's power. Now, there's 2 ways that this could work out pretty well. One is if you don't have any of these, it's round 3, you're like, fuck, I'm sweating it off or whatever. Use him. Throw one of your Axemen in the graveyard. Use either Freya or Sigdrifa, and obviously summon it back out. That's good. 2, if you already have an Axemen out and you use Madman Lugos, whatever unit you decide to discard and do damage to, that damage, obviously hitting your opponent, is going to proc Axemen to power up. So that's why it's really double header. It's really nice. And then also an easy way with Yalmar is that when you have Unvik. Yeah, if Unvik is on the other side and you have all your Frosts out, there you go. All you got to do is just bullshit until it's over, or, you know, obviously use some other cards to to handle it. Regis, he's really good because there's a pretty big chance that they have that their main engine to their deck is still in there, and you use Regis, and there's a nice probability that you're gonna end up pulling out something where that's what you use against him. So I like Regis for that factor. He can kind of have some backlash because earlier I was behind by quite a bit, and I was banking on him to randomly pull me up like 3 that were like, I don't know, at least 5, and I ended up pulling up somebody else's Freya, and that happened to be their last bronze. So I kind of got fucked on that because obviously Freya's only +1. But earlier again, I played against a Nilfgaard player, hit that. They had one of their knights or something in their deck that was like boosted up to 16 or something. Boom, stole that shit real quick. Dude rage quit right away. Had Regis up to 23, I believe. 21 or 23, something like that. It's ridiculous. It helps out. And then, of course, we have Shield Maiden. 1, because damage will help boost AXEMEN. 2, it's an easy mill. And 3, it's 9 strength. So why not? And, of course, we have 2 Freyas here. Personally, I want to stick to a 25 card limit, but I may put a 3rd Freya in here just in case. But just give this a shot, and then you get a feel for it, and then you put a 3rd one in if you want. Then I have Gremist. Of course, Gremist, because I don't have clear skies. And like I said, the weather doesn't really affect me, but if I'm in like round 1 or I have to fight in round 2, sometimes, I mean, you go up against Wild Hunt players, and they're using Frost like a motherfucker. So you might as well just go ahead and have Gremist in here. So you at least have 1 clear skies, or use Fog in case if you ran out of Frosts for whatever reason. Or you use Roar. What I normally do is that if I have an AXEMEN in the graveyard, I use Freya, pull out my AXEMEN, throw out Gremist, use Blood-Curdling Roar on the Freya. Boom, there's a 12. Or technically that'd be +11. So it's definitely situational, but he's such a good card. Such a good card. And then, of course, Yggdrasil, you know, pretty much Silver Freya. And she can actually resurrect Gremist if you need to. So that's a really huge play. And then, of course, we got 3 Frosts, White Frost, so, yeah. Aromancy, so that way you can technically get double dip on your White Frost. Renew, of course. What I did where this guy, round 1, I had Renew and Yalmar, and I pulled out Yalmar on the first round. And, I mean, obviously I did my normal opening. The guy gave me round 1. Round 2 started, I gave him that. Round 3 started, I had my whole setup, and like halfway to it, boom, Renew, pulled out Yalmar, put Unvik on the other side, boom, there you go. So it's Renew. I don't like the fact, because technically Renew makes it to where you only have technically 3 gold units, but it lets you reuse 1. So in a way you have 4, whatever. It's definitely situational. It did screw me before. There was one time where I was in the lead on round 1, gave up round 2, and neither of us, especially I was surprised, the guy on the other team, he was holding all of his golds for round 3, and because of that, and I obviously didn't have any of my golds, I couldn't use Renew, so it was a waste of a card slot. And then, of course, we have Yuldric, which, you know, draw 2, so it's draw power. So, yeah, I'm sorry that I rambled on for so long, guys. I know there's like 13 minutes. I'll probably cut it together. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this this build. Definitely go out and rank. This build is nice, but people with this current patch, I know it was a little prevalent before, but in this current patch, it's really, really, really weather heavy. So definitely build when you play and you build your decks. Keep in mind that somebody's probably going to hit you with the Frost or some bullshit like that. So until next time, guys, please leave comments, likes, do what the fuck ever you want. I love you guys. I miss you guys. So glad that I got this new setup and this new mic. Shout out to the girlfriend. She's fucking awesome. And yeah, guys, until next time, this has been your boy Dop. Thanks for watching. Peace the fuck out.